All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the YouTube channel for Becca McCullough, and you'll recognize Sarah McKnight. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
So we are celebrating the release of Offscript, which happened on Thursday, and had really good pre-orders. We're very happy with that, and some great responses already. So we hope you're all crazily reading and enjoying the book. And we want to hear more from you about what you said. But we promised people we would answer questions on this brief, emphasis on the brief, little broadcast that we're doing today. So, shall we get started?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with one of the questions from Esther. And I think it's one of my favorite questions on the list. Who or what is the inspiration for Eddie? And I'm going to leave that to you.
Oh, Eddie, I was thinking about this one. Eddie comes from a few sources, but the genesis of Eddie had to do with the fact that I didn't have a movie boyfriend back when we were in our 20s, and Sarah thought that was highly inappropriate. And so she actually did like Tinder for imaginary boyfriends and found me what she considered an appropriate boyfriend. And I didn't even know who the actor was, and I'm not going to tell you who it was. And I just started to spitball like what his life would be randomly based on dumb things that I knew. And honestly, about the only piece of that that's probably really super consistent now with who Eddie is that he was dating this like hot Latina actress, and they were always stoned. Like every picture I ever saw of them, they were stoned.
Oh, that's right. That is right. I remember that now.
Yeah, they were always stoned.
And we can't name her either, because then you'd know.
No, you'd know who it was. But that was the genesis of Eddie and Sienna that was always in my head, was him having this wild girlfriend that he was pretty much just stoned with for years. And then over time, Eddie's taken on a lot of personality traits. He is, in many ways, in a relationship, my loving, adoring husband. A lot of the kindness, and often the things people are like, well, do guys really do that? I'm like, I stole that one directly from my bedroom, so yeah, they do. No, my sweet husband's over there making dinner right now, letting me sit on the couch. So that kind of came in, and then my kids got into Taekwondo, and a lot of the martial arts stuff came from who we call Proto-Eddie. And again,
who I have yet to meet, mostly because I would laugh. I know that if I ever met this person, I would just laugh or like blush and giggle the whole time, and that would be really bad.
Controlling the blushing and giggling is very hard. Like, I can't write when I'm sitting in Taekwondo, or I'm just like, this is so funny. But he has, watching him with children was a lot of the inspiration for Eddie and Eddie's love of children, because honestly, my kid's Taekwondo instructor is incredible. And he's just, but all the women love him. He's had to open up another studio because he has so many moms who want to take classes. So there's a lot of pieces of Proto-Eddie that show up in Eddie in the book. Anything else?
I think that's really it for the Eddie question. We hope we satisfied your curiosity, Esther. Abby gave us some really great questions, and I think this one is really appropriate. I think we can both speak to this in different ways. How do you know it's the end of the story, and how does it feel when you get there? So I'll start. There are multiple stages of getting to the end of a story. There's the first time you finish the rough draft, and then the next draft. And so you finish it multiple times. And at some point after the rough draft, we get to a point of, we have an idea of what we need to accomplish by the end of the story. And so we have a more feeling of what the finite ending is. But every single time a revision gets finished, there's this feeling of both satisfaction and sadness of, oh, I don't get to write this anymore. Oh, I don't get to have these characters live in my head anymore. It is satisfying, but it is sad in a way that I don't think people expect, and certainly catches me off guard every time that I get to the end of the book where, okay, this book is actually finally done. And it's like sending a child off to college, I kind of think, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's bittersweet.
Definitely. It's definitely bittersweet, and it's a hard thing. I look for a sense of like emotional satisfaction. That's when I kind of know when it's over. And that can be hard. Like in production values, I knew exactly when we had hit the right ending of the book. Like it was 100%, this is the right last scene. I never had any doubts. I've struggled with off script, as you know, with kind of fighting around it. Is this the right emotional end? Is this really where that story is? So it can kind of depend, but I think some of that is that you do have to put characters to bed. When we say this is the last scene, we seal that piece of their story in stone. And there's no more readjusting it. There's no more going back in. There's no more tweaking. This is that period of development. It is like sending a child off or watching them change stages. Because, yes, I can go back and visit Bea and Eddie, but I can never rewrite the earlier parts now. Like, it's always set in stone. There's no more conversation about it. So,
well, and I was much more in love, firmly in love with the ending of Off Script as it is than you were for a long time. Like, I was really sold on it. So, one of us at least has to have that feeling. What?
Now they know who to blame if they don't like it.
Okay, well, fine. If you don't love that super romantic ending, blame me.
No, yeah, I mean, I think it's the right ending now, but it took a lot of tweaking before I could say, okay, this is where people are going to close the page, and I'm okay with that. And so, yeah, so it's kind of hard to know where the story ends. And, oh, hello, everyone. Meet my dumb dog. Hello, dumb dog.
Oh, hi.
Oh, my goodness. I'm about to get attacked.
It's the biggest dog in the world. It's basically a small horse.
Yes. Hi. Say hi. She'll probably whack. Oh, my gosh, your breath stinks today. Woo. All right. So, anyway, next question before I'm getting loved.
Next question. Have you been to any of the places you write about?
All but one? No, because I haven't been to, like, Madagascar and Borneo. I guess it depends. The places they live, yes.
Yeah, we definitely have been to London. We definitely have been to Salt Lake City and to Logan.
Spent some time there.
I've been to the Sundance Film Festival a few times.
Yes. I lived in Los Angeles for quite a long time and worked in Hollywood.
You've been to Vancouver?
Yes.
I have not, though I've been to Seattle, and I kind of have a feeling like similar.
Yeah, they're somewhat similar. They pretend they're not, but they are. But Madagascar and Borneo, no, not either of those.
What's the other? I have been to France. I've been to Paris and to Normandy.
Yeah.
I have not been to the south of France, but so I can't speak to the south of France. But I will say that I agree with Kat, and well, this is Kat's opinion about how France is kind of dirty, came from me. Because it is.
The dog is attacking me. Sorry. Can you throw her out, please? Go outside. Sorry. She doesn't apparently. Yeah, her idea of a photo bomb is like officially bombing it. Yeah, so I mean, I think we're pretty cautious to at least write places we're somewhat familiar with, and especially when it comes to a culture. I try not to write a culture that I don't have some experience with or know people. In my job, I interacted a lot with doctors in the UK and medical professionals and nurses, and so at least I knew the culture, the way they tend to speak. We both have personal friends that live in the UK. So I'm pretty careful about that. I don't dive into a culture. I don't think I'd be comfortable writing an entire book in Borneo because I don't know that culture at all.
No, I would want to visit. Yeah, definitely. Like spend time there, get a much better sense, a feel for it. And that's part of the whole. You know, we went to London. We spent that amazing vacation in London, and we just got a real feeling for the place, and that's where a lot of this came from. These books and it's just the places and some of the character things from the feeling we had of actually being in London.
And a lot, I was saying this about Madge just the other day, that we have a friend who took us to a patisserie in Marylebone, and she's in my head a lot when I write Madge, the way she used to speak. And she used to say, oh, I don't know, just the kindest things with a little bit of an edge of sarcasm where you'd be like, are you joking with me, or was that real? Or so I think a lot about her, but we met great people in London, and we had our little moleskin notebooks and took lots of notes. We were so writerly.
We were before we were new-ish, you know. I don't know, but before we were like serious.
Yes. Yes. Or we were really serious about it. But yeah, okay. New question.
Okay. Do you encounter writer's block?
You know, Sarah and I are really different people. I am not necessarily a writer's block person. Sometimes I run into writer got no time block, where life is happening, or I'm tired or sick. But I am kind of the write every day, just do the thing. But I'm also not the wild creative that you are. So
okay. She says that like she's not creative at all, which is absolute bunk. She is very creative. So no, I try not to think of it as writer's block because that will make it worse for me. But I am prone to periods of semi-self-indulgent lack of inspiration.
I'm glad you confessed that.
No, guys, I'm trying to be self-aware here. And there have been times when those periods like have drawn back crazy. I'm sure even more than she has expressed. But so there's like but that's like about periods of time. In terms of like just sitting down and already being in that place where I'm writing, I don't really get writer's block. I get, I'm not quite sure what words to use next, but I can push through that. Mm-hmm. It's when there's a general, like, malaise, like, afflicting my muse, that's the problem.
Yeah, and I'll sometimes get into I hate myself block, which is more common, like, I just hate everything I'm writing. But I really prescribe to the belief that if I'm blocked, it's because I've written something wrong and the characters have somewhat stopped talking. So usually if I'll back up and look at what I did or where I pushed them, typically there's something where they were like, yeah, that was more you than us. Mm-hmm. And so if I'll back up, I can usually find it again and start moving things forward. You know, or if I'm trying to be really unreal to me. So if I get a lot of, like, you write too dramatic, which is my main critique. I love the drama. It comes straight from me. We admit it. I like deep human emotions, and the uglier the better. And if I start feeling like, no, I have to write really light, and it has to be really pretty, I can get that because I'm trying to force something that's not natural at all.
Okay. Well, we just have hit like 14 minutes here, which I think is a good, brief video.
Wait, what was Esther's last one? Didn't she have one more?
No. So, actually, Abby had another one.
Oh, okay.
Which is, collaboratively, how difficult or easy is it for you to come up with such engaging characters? And I was thinking about this question. And I think the key there is collaboratively, because it is our collaboration, I think, that makes our characters so interesting, because we both add details and little things, and they speak to both of us. And, you know, so you can go through and find a bunch of little pieces of detail on any single character, and we could tell you that, yeah, half of those came from Becca and half of those came from Sarah. I think that's really what the key to that is.
Well, and I still hold that our way of writing dialogue, where we write it back and forth, develops character faster. I highly recommend it to just about anyone, because when you have to play that character, when I sit down to write something on my own, I can become really stilted because I know exactly where I want them to go. But when I don't know what Sarah's going to say next, there is this sense of like real world having to work through it. And sometimes we'll even miscommunicate, and those miscommunications end up like I'm meaning something. She takes it a totally different direction, and I'm like, sure, let's go that direction. So it creates a lot more dynamic because we have to be actively engaging on an acting sort of way to those real emotions. And sometimes like we'll write a fight and have to call and get that emotion out and be like, I'm not mad at you, they were just the characters. But you have to engage the emotion to get there.
Fights are hard. And I'm going to say this with like no like meaning underneath it, but you're better at writing meaner fights than I am. Like, usually we'll write a fight, like, co-write it, the dialogue, the way we do, and then you have to go back in and make it meaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
It is. It is. Sarah will resolve the fight in, like, 3 sentences. And I'm like, sweetheart, you can't fix it this fast. She doesn't like it. Not that
No, don't like it.
That heightened conflict, and then she'll just, like, especially Kat. All of a sudden, Kat will say, like, the super nicest thing ever. And I'm like, well, that's nice. The Kat wanted to be nice, but it doesn't build a plot.
No.
We have to build the plot.
No, it doesn't give Kat a reason to run off to Germany and, you know, find her next TV show. So, anyway, that kind of a thing.
Okay. But there's other things, like I can't write romance. I give myself the giggles.
Oh, see, but that's ridiculous. I think Off Script is beautifully romantic and has a beautiful love story, beautiful romance.
Thank you.
So don't
still
say
have to write Eddie's big romantic speech.
I did have to write Eddie's big romantic speech. You're right.
Yeah.
And even then you went back and made it less romantic.
Yeah, I want to, and that was like the end. And so I was like, yeah, maybe. So we each have strengths. All right, that's the questions. I didn't want to leave anybody out.
No, I think that's it for now. But yeah, leave us some more questions. We obviously like talking to each other and, you know, talking about everything. So we're open to more questions about just about anything, about the writing, about the characters, the books, ourselves, maybe. So, yeah. What?
My dog. I was about to say they're the most interesting thing about me, but that's another story.
Whole other story. And you know, one of these videos, Sir Jack will eventually make an appearance, even if I have to go pick him up and bring him over.
All the animals.
Yeah.
So yes, please read our works because we want to interact with you, and share this if you enjoyed what we have to say. But we would love to answer more questions, talk about writing, anything we can do to help or support the community out there, and especially all those who have supported us along the way. So goodbye, and for checking in, and thank you so much for buying Off Script this week.
All right. Good night. Good luck, everybody.